Something that I see as a mental health professional and as a coach is a problem that goes all across any boundary or boards. It doesn't matter the culture, it doesn't matter the class, it doesn't matter gender, it doesn't matter educational background, whatever it is, everyone has a hard time asking for help. And that includes myself, that includes me. I'm gonna share with you a personal experience that I had recently asking for help and what came from that, and the different things on why it was so difficult for me to ask for help. But before I get into that, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. You never know who might need to hear this message and be touched and inspired to either ask for help or someone who might be struggling asking for help. So if you browse through my YouTube channel, you probably came across a video that was titled Homeless to Home. That was only just a couple of months ago. Back in February, my business was doing fairly well. I was getting really excited. I was getting my son excited about moving, finding a new place, finally having more open space, things like that. It was a really exciting and amazing time for us. But things made a turn for the worst. COVID happened. I lost almost all of my clients. And because COVID was so new to the world, once COVID happened, it just had this massive energy of uncertainty for so many people, of course, including my clients. And they felt like it wasn't something that they can do for the moment. It was just a lot of chaos, a lot of the unknown, not knowing what was going to happen next. So I lost all of my clients, and this was very early in COVID when the lockdown happened, and I wasn't yet protected by those policies of you're not allowed to evict anyone if they couldn't get, if they weren't able to pay their rent. And so my son and I landed to be homeless for almost 4.5 months. It was the most, I'm gonna try my best not to get emotional. It was the most difficult time I had in a really long time. I'm going to admit, it wasn't the worst I've ever been through, but it was really difficult. And I did reach out to people asking for help, but they were so afraid of COVID. They were afraid to take us in. They were afraid to have bad energy with other family members because they were afraid of not having their jobs and just so much uncertainty and that type of energy going around. And from that, this was really early COVID, and I was, those policies of not being able to evict people were not in place yet. So my son and I got evicted for not being able to pay the rent. And we were evicted immediately. The landlord I was living with, which was a female, the landlord I was living with was not happy with that news and not happy with how I was handling things. And she entered my space and began to damage my property. If you know who I am, I'm a licensed psychotherapist, I'm a confidence coach, I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm also a DJ. And so she started to try to damage my records and things of that nature. And I called the police. This was really early in COVID. and the police weren't able to really help me because of not wanting to get close to us, not wanting to interact very closely. And they said that I can file a complaint and I can press charges, but all of those buildings were closed. So we weren't able to, I was really not able to do anything. And so I decided to move out as fast as I could because the police weren't protecting me. And from there, I moved in with my parents, which was a very chaotic and very unstable situation. And it became a very, very stressful environment because of things having to do with money. And it no longer was a safe place for me to stay. It wasn't conducive to running my business. It wasn't conducive to trying to have a healthy relationship with my parents, nor with my son. And there was constant disrespect, especially in front of my son, and it just wasn't a place where I could be. And so I left, and I was living out of my car for a little bit, and I was also couch surfing, and I had to give my son up to his father. And by this time, his father was very present in his life, and he has been doing such a great job with being a better father, being a better role model for his son. I was really, really grateful for that. During this time, it was getting pretty warm outside, so I was really taking advantage of just staying in my car. And I got to a place where I'm gonna try not to get emotional. I got to a place where I really missed my son, and I knew that I have something special. I know that I can help people in such a big, grand, amazing way. But it was hard for me to function. It was hard for me to do anything when I was worrying about where I was going to stay next. I was, like I said, I was also couch surfing, and I was often staying in homes of strangers, and I didn't feel safe, especially if I was in the home of like a man. I didn't feel safe. And so I reached out to family that I have in Texas, and I'm so grateful that they were able to take us in with no questions asked, asking for nothing in return. And during that time when I was in Texas, I was getting a lot of job offers. So I decided to come back up to Illinois, and my son was, and one of the reasons why I went down to Texas was that my people in my son's household got COVID when my son was with me, and so he couldn't go back. And so I couldn't have him living with me in my car. So I had us go to Texas, and I drove us to Texas by myself. It took me a while, but yeah, it was an amazing time in Texas. We came back. On the way back, I met so many amazing people that I I'm trying my best not to get emotional. I didn't even have to ask for help. I just shared my story, and they helped out of the kindness of their hearts. And a lot of these people were men, and I was really surprised because I was still working on those issues of trusting men and if they could be trusted in such a way. But I just really, really grateful to have those experiences. And so when we came back to Texas, because I had the job offers, I again was still living in my car. My son was staying with his father, and there were just days where it was too hot for me to stay in my car, or I wasn't parked somewhere where it was safe. And I'm trying really hard not to cry right now. I know how it feels to really need help, but you don't want to look weak. Really being in this vulnerable place of, I really need help right now. And if someone would help me, I promise I would be grateful. I promise I will do whatever I can to either pay them back or pay it forward. But I was so scared to look weak. I was this coach and this therapist, and I was out of work. And what I was thinking was, this shit shouldn't be happening to me. I went to grad school. I graduated grad school. I finished. I am an educated woman. I have so much to offer the world. Why is this happening to me? And why the fuck? It was just really difficult. It was really difficult. And I want to give you a little bit of context. Another reason how I found us, or another reason why we landed to be homeless, is because before COVID, I was working with a lot of people for free, or for very little to no charge. And when COVID happened and I really needed help, they couldn't help, or they refused to. They gave me excuses. And these were some people where I saw later were buying a new house, or buying a new car, or buying new shoes, or buying all of these things while my son was homeless. And it was really difficult for me. So I got to this place where, like, I have to ask for help. I have to. And if you look weak, fuck it. You need to be a better example for your son. You can't expect him to come to you and ask for help if you're not okay with asking for help either. And I was just talking about this with a client earlier today. And if you're watching this, you know who you are. I had even fantasized. Like, I went through an overpass and I saw a whole bunch of tents, and mattresses, and a tent on top of a mattress. And I was just thinking, like, I have a mattress. I can just give up and be one of those people and just say fuck it and just give up. But even when I was homeless, I knew it was only temporary, and I just needed to either make the right connections or just fucking ask for help. And so I did. And it was so difficult. I was so scared. I felt so vulnerable. I felt like I was going to, like, everyone was going to know. Everyone was going to see me as weak. Everyone was going to see that I fucked up and I made poor business choices and I made poor life choices. And I said, you know what? I have to do this anyway. Fuck it. I gotta do it. During this time, I was in a private Facebook group for a challenge that I was doing for Marissa Peer. If you don't know her, please look her up. She's amazing. She's one of the reasons I got to this place of abundance now. So I just started reaching out and I just started opening up and saying, you know what? This is where I am. This is what I have going on. And I really need help. And anything you can help me with, like pointing me in the right direction, someone who might need my coaching, someone who might need my services, someone who might need a speaker, anything like that. I'm not even asking for money. I'd have no problem working for it. And they said, shh, we want to help you. And you don't have to give anything in return. And that's it. And I was just like, wait, what? What are you talking about? No, I need to give. I need to give back. I can't do this. I can't be on the receiving mode. This feels very uncomfortable. And they said, well, get over it and get used to it. Because if it came to you, if this help is coming to you, then that means you deserve it. If this help is here for you, then that means you deserve it. And it really changed my life. And I want to say something very, very important, super important. When we're feeling vulnerable, those are the times when we're feeling weak the most. And when you ask for help, that's a sign of that, of feeling weak. And within my culture as a Latina, you're not supposed to do that. You don't show weakness. It doesn't matter how hard things are. You never show weakness. You don't ask for help. You wait for people to come and help you. And I don't even know how that's supposed to happen. Like, are they supposed to read your mind or something? It's a very flawed cultural norm. And I'm sure my culture isn't the only culture that has this, where you don't talk to people about your problems. You don't talk to outsiders about what's going on with you. And you don't ask for help. You don't ask for help. And that is so fucked up. It is human nature to not be able to do everything on your own. We need other people. That's a fact. We do. I couldn't have this plant here unless someone else put it together. I couldn't have that couch unless someone else made it. I couldn't have this blouse here unless someone else had the idea to design it and then other people make it. Same thing with this lipstick. Same thing with this phone. There's absolutely no way we can get to where we want to go without other people. There's no way. Even if you want to live out in the middle of nowhere in a cabin that you're going to make yourself, someone has to teach you how to make that cabin. Or you're learning it from somewhere. If you even learn it from a book, someone had to write that book because you didn't know how to do it, so there's no way that you could have written it. I know that you might be afraid to ask for help, especially when it comes to mental health challenges. I don't call them issues, I call them challenges. Because once you change your mindset, once you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Once you change the way you see the world changes for you. Now I have amazing clients that value my work. Now I have an amazing apartment. I probably would have not had if COVID didn't happen. Now I call myself a businesswoman because of COVID, and I wanted to make sure that I never found myself in that position again. I learned new business models, I learned new business strategies to make me a better businesswoman, not just a mental health professional. That's not even the half of it. I'm also attracting so many amazing people into my life, including amazing potential partners. My example has rubbed off on other people and has made so much of a difference in their lives as well. Imagine if I would have never asked for help. Imagine if I never had that moment where someone said, "Shh, we're gonna help you anyway." Imagine if I stopped asking for help when I got the no's in the beginning. My son now knows the value of $1. He now knows the value of work. He now knows his value as well. And he now knows how much his mother is willing to do to make sure that he has a beautiful, abundant life. And that also means not putting myself in harm's way. That also means valuing myself and treating myself well. It's not only about I will die for you, but it's also about I will live and choose to live happily, to be your example so that you know what it looks like and what it feels like to be around people that are happy often. I know that asking for help is really, really hard. And like I said, this isn't the worst thing that's ever even happened to me. I've been raped, I've been molested, I was physically abused, to busted lips, black eyes, broken bones. Promise yourself that you're going to do it anyway, even if it's hard. I know that asking for help can probably damage your reputation, damage how you see yourself, damage connections with other people. But what if you ask and they say yes? What if you do this and you get way more than you ever asked for? What if then asking for help is not a sign of weakness? Vulnerability is not weakness. It takes way more strength to be open and honest than it does to fake it and to be a liar. And you know that. You know people like that too. So in your moments of asking for help, in your moments of feeling weak and vulnerable, I want to challenge you to ask for help anyway. Say, fuck it, I need it, and ask for help anyway. And if you do get a no, just know that there are beautiful, amazing people out there that are willing to help you with nothing in return. I came across so many. I cannot tell you, on Facebook, on Instagram, in real life, anywhere. Twitter, what's up, John Cena? Thank you. And imagine how much more you can help others when you're in a better place. I'm Lupita V from LupitaVCoaching, licensed psychotherapist, confidence coach, motivational speaker, and DJ. And if this message touched your heart, please share it. You never know who's out there that might need to hear it and be reminded that they are worthy of someone's help, that they deserve it, and they no longer have to be in a place of suffering. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.